Ari on the piano. What better thing could we be doing on a Sunday morning than being right here? Welcome to Woodland Chapel, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
My goodness. You know, before we get started, there's I think Cheryl Guess is here. I'd like to have her really check in on something and give you some information that's she's not here. Well, it's okay.
She's right behind you.
Here she is. Cheryl has something really great information she'd like to talk to us about. Cheryl, could you do that? Okay.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So today I'm doing a Serenity During the Holidays workshop, and if I would love for anybody that would like to join me. It's just about addressing how you deal with maybe tricky situations or negative people. And like what I like to say, my favorite pass, for the holidays is you don't necessarily have to be with somebody that doesn't really serve you and make you happy. So I say, just because you shared a womb doesn't mean you have to share a turkey. So anyway, join us if you can.
I've never heard that before.
You know, the old saying.
Well, thank you, thank you. You know, we really like to do music, but we just have a couple important announcements, that's all. Basically, Cheryl gave you the greatest important one for this morning. And, oh my gosh, this is such small print on this thing here. I have to wear glasses. Am I the only one? Oh, there it is. Julie had it. She was going to give the announcements today, but she said, why don't you do it anyhow? Is there anybody here joining us for the very, very first time? I think we're all friends. I think we're all acquaintances. We're neighbors, okay. You know what we like to do? Instead of going through all these announcements, why don't we take a moment to just take a deep breath and let's stand up and look to your left and your right and just say hi, neighbor. Glad to see you. Welcome. Welcome to Woodland Chapel. How are you guys?
Hi.
We're so glad you're here. There's my wife.
What a great morning.
Ari's going to play us music.
Yay.
Can't beat a morning like this morning. Is there anything else more important? Thanksgiving dinner, Thanksgiving Day. I don't know if you've heard of that. Anybody know about Thanksgiving Day they're going to have here? It says right here that, yeah, it does. You can join us for Thanksgiving Day. Hosted by Reverend Moore. I love that. Time from 2 o'clock to 4:30. And sign up in the library to bring a side dish to share. Yeah, everybody just bring something, if you want to bring rolls or pancakes, whatever you want to bring, it's okay. And don't forget, next Sunday is Potluck Sunday. Are we going to do that after Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Just asking. Turkey leftovers.
There you go.
Hey, why don't the confidential prayer request forms? That's very important. It sits right in front of the pew in front of you there. If you have something on your heart or on your mind, you just want to ask us for prayer, whatever you want to talk about, just put that on there. We'll get back to you. Just let us know. Put that in the offering as it comes around, and it'll go right out to a minister or a practitioner. Library trim. We haven't had to receive the Rescience of Mind magazine for November, December yet. However, copies of the daily guides, which are really important in the magazine, are in the rack in the library. Usually, we pick up the magazine, and you know what? They're there, but we suggest maybe a couple bucks for a donation. What do you say? Or free, or what they want. Okay, that's it. I think we ought to sing. What do you say?
I think that's a great idea.
All right. In your program, let's do it.
Okay, so Are the words in your program?
They are.
Okay, because I was going to admit to something, but now that they are, I won't have to admit to anything.
You're good. We got you. If you are able and willing, will you stand and join me? I'm going to request a little percussive assistance today, if possible. Either a little lap pat or foot stomp or clap or whatever you feel like you can get a little beat going as we play this song. This is a Karen Drucker song called Thank You for This Day. Seemed fitting for this week, eh? Ready? Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Yeah, very nice. All right, now we're going to slow it down a little bit. I'm going to sing at you. You're going to sing with me if you want to. How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Let's do that one more time. How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Let's just take a deep breath in and just feel your shoulders and your whole body just relax into this moment, into this special, beautiful, sacred space that we create here each Sunday. And knowing that we are all just one energy, one power, one being, that we are manifest of this one power, here to create all the aspects of God: joy, beauty, peace, power, love, life, and light. And as we go forth today, I know that we all have gratitude in our hearts in this gratitude season, that we are grateful for everything that's unfolding in our life, even when it doesn't appear to serve us. And we just know within ourselves that we have the power to create the life that we desire. And as we go forth, we just open our hearts and our minds to new ways of thinking and new ways of feeling and new ways of showing love and new ways of expressing kindness. And as we go forth today, we just know that we are powerful, powerful beings, creating a point in space that is full of love and full of joy and full of all the good things of this season. And I know that each heart is open, each heart is now ready to hear the words that are spoken. And with this, I am just so grateful for everyone that is present, either here or online. I just know that this touches every heart in some way. And so I release my word to the law, knowing that everything unfolds in divine right order and that we are perfect just the way we are. And so if this resonates with you, please join me in saying, "And so it is." I would like to share with you the group affirmation. It's in your program. Right here and now, I replace patterns that do not serve me, patterns of worry and fear, and I focus on the dynamic power of God. I am free to choose, and so it is. Namaste.
The reading for today, out of the Science of Mind magazine. I love this magazine. Every day, having breakfast with Phyllis, I pull this out and look at it. She says, "What are you reading?" And I say, "The Science of Mind magazine." She says, "Well, pass the tea." Okay. Today, it's My Faith is Strong. And Louise Hay wrote a book, You Can Heal Your Life. And she says, always make your statements in the present tense, such as I am, I have. Your subconscious mind is such an obedient servant that if you declare in the future tense, I want or I will have, then that's where it'll always stay. Whoa. Just out of your reach, always in the future. Dr. Holmes in The Science of Mind puts it a little more steady. He says, there's no one who believes more in faith, more in prayer, or more in the necessity of the divine will being done than he or she who practices daily the science of mind. I agree to that. And in the body here, My Faith is Strong, he says, what do you call that prayer that is greater than us? Well, yet we exist in it? Most religious persons call that God. Do we not? But in Science of Mind and other forms of New Thought, we call it what others call God by a variety of terms. God, yes, but some of those are divine love. We say universal consciousness, spirit, and so forth. When people find that we don't always call God God, they often ask if I pray. And some are surprised when I tell them that not only do I pray daily, but also throughout the day, and that our form of prayer is one of the cornerstones of our teachings. I remember going to my minister when I first started studying Science of Mind. I was having serious financial problems, and my health wasn't good. My relationship was, well, quite frankly, in the toilet. And he nodded with compassion, and he nodded with understanding as I continued my litany of grief. When I took a breath, he gently asked, how long have you been treating or praying, as we call it, about this? Well, of course I hadn't at all. Not at all. If I had a regular methodical practice of prayer and meditation, if I'd have been able to weather that stormy part of my life much better, I know, than I did at the time, then I would have been prayed up, as we call it, as some have called it. Being prayed up is like socking money away in a savings account. Yeah. But if we have need of funds, we know how we can get it. We know we have it. Unfortunately, we often find prayer is kind of a last resort. Instead, I would strongly recommend that it be the very first plan of action. There's an affirmation bears that out. It says, I pray often with joy. My life is a living prayer of gratitude and appreciation, and I am prayed up at all times. And so it is. Thank you.
It is. All right, I'm going to play a song that I wrote a handful of years ago called The Greatest Treasure. I don't want to live a life unhappy, fitting into someone else's mold. I don't want to live a life unhappy, fitting into someone else's mold. Freedom that I feel when I'm on my own is the greatest treasure I have found. I used to focus all my focus on the other, trying to be everything I should. Used to focus all my focus on the other, trying to be everything I should. When I was just a little girl, I thought I knew the way to everlasting happiness and peace. Thought those things were found in the arms of another. Had to lose it many times to finally see that the freedom that I feel when I'm on my own is the greatest treasure I have found. I know I'm never really all the way alone. The ones who love me most are right here close to me. I know I'm never really all the way alone. The ones who love me most are right here. But the freedom that I feel when I'm on my own is the greatest treasure I have found. Oh, the freedom that I feel when I'm on my own is the greatest treasure I have found. Thank you.
Thank you, Ari. Does this work? a boo-boo mood today, I guess. I'm making all sorts of boo-boos. Not crying, but mistakes. Okay. So, okay, well, we'll try that again. So, good morning, you guys. Good to see you this morning. We're talking about freedom today, and on my way to pick up Ruth tonight, who I pick up in the mornings, the road right before where she lives, I just noticed it today. It's called Stacey Allison Way. Do any of you remember Stacey Allison? Okay, Stacey Allison was the first woman to summit Mount Everest. And coincidentally, her mother and her aunt attended the religious science church that I did. So it was a big deal. A big deal. I can't remember when this was. I think in the 80s, something like that she did that. But the interesting thing, and she gave some talks and she wrote a book. And the interesting thing is talk about freedom. The freedom to choose to summit this mountain. Now, I will never know why someone wants to do it, but clearly she did want to do it. And she gave herself the freedom as a woman to say, I can do this. And I was struck by the permission she gave herself and the knowledge that she could do it. And she did it. So it was interesting. I just drove by the road that was named after her. So this month we've been using this book, Treat Yourself to Life, by Raymond Charles Barker. And can't remember, it's a little bit older book, but it's really good if you have an opportunity to pick one up. It's a good guide to go through each chapter and remind ourselves of the truth. And the topic today is treat yourself to a life of freedom. And, throughout history, I have this book called The History of Ideas. And it taught, freedom has been something that has been explored, defined, deconstructed, and enshrined in constitutions throughout history. Philosophers have debated what freedom was, and that was only applied to a few people, of course. And throughout history, that only applied to a few people. But this idea, what is freedom? What is freedom? And Plato said this, believed that unbridled democracy was dangerous, and freedom is both a blessing and a curse. Now, we could spend a whole topic on what he meant by that. But the thing is, freedom is a big deal. And I remember as a 13-year-old twirling around in our living room, just twirling around and saying, I want to be free, I want to be free. And there was this ecstatic feeling of the possibility of, wow, of being free. And I think what I meant by that was the freedom to do, be, and have what I wanted. And as a teenager, of course, that was really important, to do, be, and have what I wanted. But I think that is part of what all of us want with this idea of freedom. And it's good. We're going to go somewhere else with this topic of freedom, but that's fine, to do, be, and have. One of the things about religious science and Ernest Holmes with his teaching, it came out at a time, New Thought came out at a time, and Ernest Holmes picked this up in the 20s, when there was a belief that we couldn't have among many people. And it was wrong to have, and it was wrong to want, and it was selfish to want. And suffering, the idea of suffering and all of that, and guilt. And so what he came along and said, no, we are children of a divine energy, a divine being, a divine God, a divine creative source, and we are not meant to suffer, to lack, to be miserable. And so it's good to understand that we can do, be, and have what we want. And these are elements of freedom. Freedom freedom is like freedom to do and freedom from. It's not just freedom to do, be, and have, but freedom from. And so, I just want to take a moment here and let you fill in the blank for a minute with that. Freedom from, freedom to do. What is it that today you would like to experience freedom from? So just take a minute. Is there something that you would like to have freedom from or freedom to do? So we all have this desire within us, and it's a holy desire. And, it's a holy desire because in all of that, in all of our wanting, and all of our urge to be, do, and have, it's the urge to express ourselves and that divine essence that we are. So this is not about, if you've thought, well, I can't do what I want all the time, I can't have what I want, or to be, like Stacy, to say, I can be this person that summits the mountain. But this idea of limitation, what we have to bring into planet Earth is so magnificent. I think this urge in us not only allows our own creativity to flow to benefit the world, but it forces us to open up when we experience the difficulties, the challenges, the pain, or the joy that all of that is going to bring us. So, but there's other elements of freedom, and as I explore this more deeply, freedom is a soul quality. It's a soul quality. And the experience of freedom is one of power. And when the more free we become, I'm going to go into that a little more as we go on. The more free we become, the more peace we experience, the more wisdom begins to be experienced, and even love. And I added love a little bit later as I was thinking about this, because I understand in freedom we're not shut off. See, when we're not free, when we have these restrictions and we can't, we literally shut off some of the wisdom that is available to us. And I got that. And I got that when I am more free, I am at peace. But this idea of love, it just came to me. Freedom allows us to love more deeply without strings attached. Because when we are not free, we attach strings to things because we fear. Okay? You've heard that story of a policeman sees this drunk man searching for something under a streetlight. And he says, I asked him what he's lost. And he said, well, I lost my keys. And so the policeman kindly got down, and they're all looking under this whole area that's lit up by the streetlight. And finally, they couldn't find them. And he said, are you sure you lost them here? He said, well, no, I lost them over there, but there's more light here. And so, the point of the story is we do that. We look to do, be, and have experiences and qualities of freedom that we see in the physical world that are, that we are experiencing all the time and that we understand. Because the light is better. We can see. It's our experience. We're familiar with all this. And so we look to do, be, and have where the light is better. where we experience what we know. But there is a deeper place. There's a deeper place. And that place is in our own mind. And are we afraid to go there sometimes? Viktor Frankl, you all probably know that, his story, wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning. And it's a tough book to read. I was actually looking at it this week. And, we read these things in history and we know that they happened intellectually. But when we're reading about them, it is just overwhelming what we can do to others as human beings. It's a hard book to read sometimes. A wonderful book to read, but a hard book to read. Because those of you who haven't read it, and, he was in the concentration camp. He was a psychiatrist, a Jewish psychiatrist. And along with all the other Jewish people, he was sent to concentration camps. And he didn't know what happened to his wife. He didn't know what happened to his parents. And the cruelty and the degradation of those concentration camps. People who rescued them after the Second World War had PTSD just from rescuing him. But he talks about how he survived that. Because he had no physical power, he had no physical control. But he had his mind, and no one could take that away from him. And he thought about his family, and he thought about the people he loved, and he visualized the future in his mind, and he decided that the guards and all of that could not touch his mind. Whatever else they did, they could not touch his mind. And in his mind, he could create freedom. And he could decide how he was going to be with other people. Other prisoners, even the guards. It's a powerful book. And, I'm not even pretending I could do that. But I do get that our freedom, to whatever we have out here, and through treatment, and we get to change our mind and have different experiences. But what did I just say? It all begins in our mind. Freedom all begins in our mind. And this, in the Gospel of John, it says, the truth will set you free. Well, I agree that that's true. I don't agree with what John meant by it when he wrote that our freedom does not depend upon another person. Our freedom and the truth that sets us free is the truth that's connecting with our inner source, the deep truth in ourselves. And this is a journey. This is a journey. Because, we have, here's kind of how it works. And I invite you to pick this up because it goes into great detail, as most of our Science of Mind books do. It's, we have two minds. We have our conscious mind and our unconscious mind. And the unconscious mind is kind of like that dark place where the key isn't, or the key is. Where the key is. Because we may know, how many of you guys know the truth? When we do an affirmation, you're like, yeah, that is true. And then there's part of us that, well, not for me. Yeah. We repeat affirmations to, in a way, program our unconscious mind, our subconscious mind, our unconscious mind. Because it is in that place that our beliefs reside. And we may not even know. Do you do some things over and over again and you think, I did that again. I know better. Why am I still doing that? Because there is in our unconscious mind that which believes us. It believes it. And we live that out. It's like a trance. We all actually are living trances. And I think the whole spiritual thing about waking up is waking up from the trances that we believe, that we have accepted. So our unconscious mind houses these beliefs. So we keep repeating what we don't want to do. Barker says, the important factor in your life is never what you are thinking at the moment. It is the sum total of all that you have ever thought. And how many of us know all the thoughts that we've had? I was thinking about myself the other day, wondering what's this really going on in my mind. After all of this, I thought, where are you? Think about where you are. Why are you experiencing this? Why are you feeling this? Why do you swear so much at cars? I know. Ministers are supposed to be so much better, but here you are. I still love you. And I thought, I started to think, what is that all about? We just go through life just doing. And I thought, well, my husband's in Connecticut, so I thought I'd have some real quiet time. I'm going to try to figure out why I do what I do before I die. My son keeps telling me, because I keep telling him about reincarnation, he refuses to admit what he believes, or that he believes maybe something that I believe. He just refuses to. I think he does. But anyway, he says, well, I'm all finished. I've done this life. I'm not coming back again. And I think, yeah, you are. You got some other stuff. So Barker puts it this way, too. It's when our conscious mind deliberately accepts a creative idea and delivers it to the unconscious or subconscious with a sense of authority. The law moving through the new pattern produces experiences as it's ordered to do. But that is about changing the beliefs, that we have such authority in what we're saying and thinking that we have had really created a new belief for ourselves. But it really is different knowing something and believing it, isn't it? We can know a lot of things. We can read books like this. It's like, wow, I believe that. I know that that's true. But for our unconscious mind to override the patterns that we have created throughout our life, that says, no, you're not good enough, and no, you're not worthy enough, and no, you can't have, and on and on. Or like Stacy, yes, you can. Yes, you can. So our journey here really is overriding those, to wake up from the trance. Spirituality, we say, is waking up. It's not complicated. It's really quite simple. It's waking up. And waking up out of the trances that we have lived all of our life. So, he says about worry and upset. Let's say you give yourself a treatment, and as Don said, that's our form of prayer. 20 minutes later, you begin to worry again. Give yourself a treatment about worry, pray about worrying, upset. 20 minutes later, you begin to worry again. It returns because the subconscious pattern is still there. And, it's a journey. It's not an overnight thing. But it's the journey that we're on. We have a little property in Damascus, some acreage, and next door, some people bought some acreage, about 7 acres, and it was all these blackberries, blackberries. All of these blackberries. So they got rid of all the blackberries. They mowed them down. And they planted grass. And it was so lovely. Until guess what? The blackberries came back up again. Yeah, okay, that is one of the places where I do swear, as that blackberries. But they come back up again. And so they sold the house and the property and moved away, and this other person brought it. bought it. And I noticed this fall, he's gotten out there and he cultivates it and he rakes it, and he's gone into this whole process of tilling the soil, digging deep, getting it all smooth, and then planting. And the berries, and then when he keeps mowing, the berries will not come back, they won't come back. So you get the metaphor. Yeah, we've got to till the soil of our own mind. We can't just say an affirmation. We have to do the work to get rid of all of those weeds in our mind that keep coming back and coming back and coming back. So the Serenity Prayer, I used to try to make everything work in my family. I invite you to Cheryl's workshop this afternoon. I used to try to make everything work in my family so that everyone would be happy if they just did like I wanted. And then, of course, I would be happy. And and Thanksgiving is the best time to practice this practice, you guys. You are moving into a sacred moment to begin to practice this. We used to go to Thanksgiving with some relatives of my husband's that I dearly love, and they come to our house and we go to theirs in Eastern Oregon. And one day my daughter said, well, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not going to go anymore. I think it was because they made her sit at the kids' table or something. And so I just that was very stressful for me, how to handle that. So we quit going because I had to make her happy. And I've learned, this is the Serenity Prayer. I mean, that was a long time ago, so it took a long time. It didn't happen overnight. But I do the Serenity Prayer, and it has stuck in certain areas. I understand now I can't control anybody else. And some of my kids will say, well, you better tell my brother he needs to do this. Or you better tell. And I will say, I can't control them. Well, you raised them so, they're 50. They're 50. Seriously, that's what he said. Well, that's what one of my daughters says, but you raised him, and he needs to do this. I was like, well, I can't control another person. And what I've noticed, the more I say that, the more they quit asking me to control everybody else's behavior. It's, we train ourselves, we train other people. We do train other people. So it is, I got to tell you, the freedom that comes from that. The peace that comes from that. And Terry Cole Whitaker wrote a book, if some of you know about, What You Think of Me Is None of My Business. And it's the freedom where you don't worry what somebody thinks about you. But this idea of letting go, I cannot control anybody else. Now, I may be sad about certain things that other people are doing in their life. I may actually be sad. And what addiction comes from is trying not to feel that sadness and control. If I control them and they do what I want, I won't feel that sadness. Well, you know what? Sometimes we just have to feel the sadness. It's part of life. So this has been a really big deal to me, this idea. And I'm actually enjoying it. I'm waiting for somebody to say, you need to do this. And I say, I can't control other people's behavior. I'm getting to wait for the opportunity to say that. Because there is such peace in that. Lightness. And you know what? There is more love. I know it seemed odd when I first figured this out. about freedom and love. Because I have no strings attached to their behavior. Look, when we have strings attached to someone's behavior, it's like conditional love, conditional acceptance. So if I have no strings, I love you regardless of what you do. Because I know I can't control that, and you have your journey. And I have, God, don't you hate somebody else trying to control you? Yeah. I mean, seriously. So think of the freedom we give another person when we don't try to control them. And I think in their own freedom, they have more freedom to become who they are. So, this goes off, so I don't know if you can hear me. So our spiritual tools, I want to read something too. We have our spiritual tools, and one of the biggest tools we get in, any of you have taken classes, we talk about treatment. It's prayer, our prayer treatment. When I first learned it, it was my tool to get what I wanted. And I went, like a lot of us, I am one with God. God is all there is. I am one with God. Therefore, here's what I claim. And I have learned that is that first step where we sit in meditation until we realize that we are indeed one with God. And if this is true, and you know what? We got to use our logic. Because there is something that created this entire universe, us included, and we could not be separated from it. Can you imagine separating our energy and going out on our own? Well, there's the planets over there, but I'm going in my own world. We are one with this energy field, this life, whether you're a tree or an animal, you're a rock, we are one with that. It is what it is. And if that is true, and we say this in our teaching, and I'm sure it offends a lot of people, but we have to understand how we're saying it. I am God. I am not all of God, but that word is a little not always useful. But I am one with this infinite universe. And if I am one with that, then the power in that exists in me. And step 3, I know that this is true. Whatever it is that we desire to awaken to, whatever we desire to have, whatever it is we desire to know. And I have the power to speak my word into that because I am one with that is all powerful, that creates the entire universe. So we have a tool, and it took me a long time to get from, I'm just doing this so I can get, to knowing, oh my God, it's so, when we think about it, it is incredibly amazing. Incredibly amazing. So we have a lot of spiritual tools to take home and practice. And then, I invite all of us to continue to do this. Some days we do more than other days. But I want to close with reading a treatment from Barker. So just go in within or be still. And say to yourself, he says, I am now going to delete and destroy my pattern of worry out of my consciousness. I know that my mind is the center of divine operation. I know that the intelligence of the universe, which is God, created me to be in the universe, a thinking, feeling, vital being. The intelligence which created me sustains me, watches over me, takes care of me. I am aware that the mind of God is in action in me and through me as I direct my intention to it. The pattern of worry, the pattern of negation, I now annihilate. The mind of God now operating in my thought has destroyed this negative. It is finished, and in its place is a divine positive. I accept this universe as it really is. This universe is a wonderful place, and so it is. Namaste.
All right, this next song is called Happiness Starts Within. Happiness starts within. My thoughts will lead the way. From there I can begin to change the way I view my day. I can find the joy in any little thing, though I'll still feel pain. I let go of the chains. Oh, happiness starts within. My thoughts will lead the way. From there I can begin to change the way I view my day. I can find the joy in any little thing. I'll still feel pain, but I let go of the chains. Happiness. Oh, happiness, oh, it starts within. Our thoughts will lead the way. From there we can begin to change the way we can find the joy in every little thing. Yes, we'll still feel pain, but we can let go of the chains they hold, 'cause happiness oh, happiness, it starts within, yeah. It's a choice we get to make. Our thoughts will lead the way. Oh, happiness. Thank you.
In our programs, there's a affirmation. Let's say it together. It starts with divine love, moving in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And so it is.
I am great. Oh, I'm sorry. I am grateful. I am grateful for abundance in my life. I am grateful. I am grateful for abundance in my life. I am grateful. I am grateful for abundance in my life.
Each of us has the opportunity to express that abundance through the actions that we choose to make every day, expressing it as an ability to reach out, be kind, be loving, be supportive, not only to our family, but even to strangers. And with the sharing comes the great joy of knowing the universe reciprocates and recirculates and brings our freedom to choose to us and to everyone. So we give thanks for all the gifts today that are freely given, and we give thanks for the love in our hearts. And let us say together, and so it is. Let us go now to the prayer of protection and say it together. If you'd like to stand, that'd be great. It starts the phrase, the light. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let's sing together our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. Did God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment